Hello, my name is Carlotta, and I'm very honored to be presenting my bachelor thesis project today, which is titled Embracing Home. It's a project that's very much about the feeling of home, the feeling of belonging and freedom, but most importantly, it's about the idea of bringing back a craft that is maybe not that known anymore and is kind of forgotten about, maybe endangered, and how you can work with that in your own style, but also create like a talking point to talk to about it again. And said craft that I want to talk about, sorry, um, is the making of Pommersche Fischerteppiche. I'm going to take a moment now to explain what they are and where they come from and the history. They are basically made like oriental carpets. If I translate it, it's basically Pomeranian Fisher carpets. But they have they have patterns that kind of represent the coastal life, like maritime motifs, from the northern east coast of Germany, which is where I'm from. And they originate in the 1910s, so it's actually not that old because there was a problem with overfishing and the fishers needed different occupation. They already knew how to knot nets. So they came up with the idea of knotting carpets, and the city of Greifswald hired a textile designer from Austria called Rudolf Stundel to come up with the whole idea of the carpets. And since then, they went into production. They were really popular in Germany and very much in the East as well, GDR, and have been produced in factories and everything, and were like pretty known. And then after the reunification, that kind of fell off. And I learned about them in the second years of my studies when I had to do a presentation about a local craft. And it really stuck with me. And I thought, how can I talk about it and tell people about it, but also how can I bring that into my own work? And so I started off with the original pattern motifs that you can see on the side here. And I sketched my heart out basically and just tried a lot of things and also thought about what would I personally classify as modern, like what is modern to me, what is happening right now. And so I tried a lot with like different organic shapes and just different filters and everything like that. And I also decided that I really wanted to bring in the feeling of being at the German coast, of in the coastal town, because that's where they're from, and that's also how I really strongly felt about them. And I really tried a lot of different ways with colors and with the patterns and how I could really portray this feeling. So that was a big process. And I tried to bring in the warmth of the sun, the really like glistering and reflecting on the water in your eyes, as well as like the really freshness that you can have when you are at the beach. And so, oops, sorry. Ah, okay, sorry. It is not really doing what I wanted to do. So I ended up with three pieces that reflect that, in my opinion, that are kind of a mix of texture against tactility and color and everything. And they are woven on a full width jacquard loom. I played a lot around with which materials. I chose to use wool and linen because they are natural materials, but also because the original carpets were made from wool. And the linen really represents the kind of seagrass that you find at the shore, at least to me. But I think also everyone can interpret them the same, like the way they want to. I also brought in the idea of hand knotting in the braids, which is also a way of bringing in the original craft, which I think was really important because then I also understand how that has been done and how that feels. And I think it's also a way to bring in the people like really want to touch the pieces and are really intrigued. And also really thought it would be important to have small details that are imperfect because that's like really gives you like an idea of the craft and the work that goes into it. And yeah, so it's very much about bringing the feeling back and but also I think just very nice because I've had such beautiful like conversations with people about the craft and where it comes from and where my ideas come from. And I'm also very happy to be able to talk about it today
I'm
here. So thank you very much for that. Um,
Thank you, Carlotta.